Welcome. My name is Grandma Storm. I write stories for young adults. Today I am reading the final chapter in my book, The Book of Faith. (121) Faith sat at a table, draped in pale linen. She wore a gown of white, as soft as a cloud. The scent of lily of the valley filled the air. She looked up to see a rainbow arced over the sky, and marveled as gems of starlight hovered like candles over the table. By her place was a cup of living water. A feast of fruit and angels' manna filled her plate. Her mothering tree stood nearby. A river as clear as glass flowed to a crystal sea. A street of gold led to a great white city. Faith was surrounded by all she loved. She sat between her mother and father. There was Pa, there was Tirzah and Ashiel. There was Sam with his family. Manson and Mara were next. Nicanor and all his brother giants sat across from Faith. Ker lay at her feet. Anna nestled on her head. The table was long and straight. Faith could not see the beginning nor the end, nor could she count the people. There was her king upon his throne. She loved him most of all. A red-haired man sat a few chairs away. He too was dressed in fresh white linen. He looked at her and smiled. His countenance was peaceful and friendly. His eyes were blue and kindly. Who was he? Her brow wrinkled as she tried to remember. He was called Old Skur, but the memory snapped shut. What is your name? Faith asked. Adam, he replied. Thank you for listening to my book, The Book of Faith. I would like to share with you information about how this book came to be written. It was my birthday 16 years ago. We were out to dinner with all the family. There are fun gifts to open, so many thoughtful presents. Then there was one last gift, a big bag with a big box inside. It was from my husband. He had a big smile on his face. He was excited for me to open it. The whole family was excited for me to open it. I ripped away the bag. I ripped away the wrapping. I opened the box and held up a laptop. What in the world am I going to do with this? Was my first thought. I smiled. I realized it was a very expensive gift, so I thought I should be grateful. Even the waitress came up to me and said, "Wow, somebody really loves you." I said thank you to my husband, but I truly did not know what to do with a computer. Then one day, it came to my mind that my mother, some years before, and rather mysteriously, told me I should write a story with a donkey in it. It is always a good idea to listen to your mother, even when you are a grandma yourself. Now, I do know a thing or two about donkeys. When I was a girl living at home, we had a big barn filled with horses, ponies, and a donkey. That donkey was a perfect mixture of sugar and spice named Sonia. So I started thinking about donkeys and books and that new laptop. I thought about writing when I was homeschooling my kids. I thought about Sonia when I was vacuuming under the sofa. I thought about that laptop when I folded laundry. I did a lot of thinking, but no writing. Then one summer day, we loaded the van to go on vacation. We were going camping. I packed that expensive laptop in the van too. While everyone else was building sandcastles on the beach and jumping in Lake Michigan, I sat at the picnic table by our tent and wrote the opening paragraph to my first book. The woods were tall and green, each tree a giant. The villages were scattered and few. The people were old and bent and tired. Little boys and little girls were rarely seen. It was a land in a distant place and in a different time. It was not here, but it was certainly there. By the end of that first chapter, Sonia, the donkey, had taken a supporting role in the story about a little girl named Faith. Through 13 years, this book meandered. When I found snatches of time, I would type away on that laptop. I struggled with plot, character development, and too many words. One day, the book weighed in at over 130,000 words. Here I need to give credit to my son-in-law. Despite all his responsibilities as a practicing attorney, he made time to read my book and he tore it apart. I cannot tell you how powerful an honest edit is for an aspiring author. I cut 30,000 words out of that book. In case you are wondering, the artwork on the cover and throughout the book is done by me in pencil. A special thank you to my granddaughter Irene for being the inspiration for the little girl Faith. Here I want to show you a couple of the drawings. And this one is from the cover. The Book of Faith. There it is in pencil, and there's little Irene. And here is the back cover with Anna, the dove. Now, one other illustration I want to show you is this one, because I'd hoped to do a spread on this one, but just don't know enough about how to make all these things work on Amazon. But this was from a tree I took a picture of in the Pacific Northwest, and I saw that tree, and it was such a beautiful tree, and I thought, if I don't take a picture of that tree, I will be sorry. So I took a picture of this gigantic tree, and then in my mind I made a little playhouse for a little girl named Faith, and there was her little place where she stayed when she would visit her mothering tree. I thought you would enjoy that. I need to thank my daughter Emily for all her work publishing the Book of Faith on Amazon. Believe me, I could not have done this without her. I also want to thank my youngest son for creating this channel. His ability with technology amazes me. When I first started YouTube, my husband suggested I place an object on the table representing something important in the story. For this video recording, I chose the oldest book from our personal collection. This book was published in 1822. It is a series of letters from a minister to a young lady on how to live an honorable life. In fancy terms, an epistolatory. I use it here to represent the book that guided many of the main characters. In my mind, it also represents the book Ashiel found in the dark in the temple when he realized he and Tirzah must flee Topheth. This is the end of the Book of Faith. But I don't want to leave without rededicating the book to my mother and all her great-grandchildren. May they and all my listeners live an honorable life, trusting in the King of Kings. Blessings on you all. Until next time.